angels proclaiming, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole world is full of his glory." He was more sensitive. Now, this happens on a daily basis. It also happens on a monthly basis. It happens on a yearly basis. So that means that, like it says, the land of Israel is a very special land, a holy land, because the eyes of Hashem are on it from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. Why does it say that? Why doesn't it just say his eyes are on it the whole time? Because there's a difference between the beginning of the year and the end of the year. It's just like the beginning of the day and the end of the day. A new day is a new creation. The beginning of the year is a new year. Literally, there's a new life coming into the world. Just like in the morning, new life comes into your body. There's a new life comes into the world. And what happens at the night before, which is going to be Wednesday night, the life of the previous year goes away. Literally, the world also goes on a charger. And the world continues on automatic pilot. Just like your phone, you're not using it. Put in the charger and charges up. So the world is charging up overnight. It's like dreaming. It's like being asleep. So therefore, since the whole universe is now, and the whole universe, the planets, the stars, the animals, the trees, everything in the whole creation, the birds, the fish, the swarming creatures, everything that is described in the story of creation in the Torah is on hold, awaiting expectantly the life for the new year. And when does the life for the new year begin? When we blow shofar. So what are we going to do in the meantime? In the meantime, we have a spiritual vacuum, an emptiness. So we have to fill that emptiness, and therefore you will see the Hasidim will stay in shul and they will say a lot of Tehillim to fill up that gap. Another thing that I want to share with you is that the Rebbe Shmuel, who was the fourth Rebbe of Lubavitch, one of the things that he's famous for having said is that there are thousands of angels hovering around every single person at that time, after the evening prayer, when you go home for shul. And what are they doing, these angels? They're listening intently. They want to hear that one person should say a nice thing to another person. And one person should give a blessing to another person. And these words of kindness and love are more precious to Hashem than all the prayers in the prayer book. Even tzaddikim who are saying these prayers, they're not so cherished as these nice things that people say to each other, wishing each other a good, sweet year, a healthy year, a nachastik year from your children. So that's what you should have in mind Wednesday night. Okay? That's how you bring it. You see, just imagine yourself 20 years from now. You'll be married, you'll have children who are getting to the age of teenagers, and you're going to see how they behave with each other. And if there's a family party, a big party, a wedding or a simcha, bar mitzvah, bas mitzvah, and everybody's getting ready. And two children are helping each other to get dressed, to get nice clothes. Oh, it's very nice to see, very nice to see. You're a mother, you're happy to see the children are helping each other, caring for each other. And one child is in a bad mood, didn't sleep well the night before. And you know, we used to have an expression in my house, the terrible tempered Mr. Bang. And this child has a very short fuse, either by circumstance or by temperament. And you as a mother are troubled. You want the child to be, every parent wants a child to be happy and to succeed, to be healthy. So it's the same with Hashem. Hashem is our Father. And when he sees that we care about each other, he feels very, very good about it. And it brings a tremendous blessing into the whole of creation. That Hashem feels good, everybody feels good. You know, when the Rebbe laughs, everybody laughs. When the Rebbe dances, everybody dances. Go to a Farbrengen, and the Rebbe starts a nigun, and everybody sings. The Rebbe cries, everybody's serious. So when Hashem is happy, makes him happy to see his children caring about each other, then the whole world is happy. That's how the blessing comes into the world. So it's very, very important. It's not a little thing to wish a person Happy New Year. And in the meantime, call your friends, call your parents, call your uncle and your aunt, call your bubby and your zaidi, wish them a good year. Okay. I'm telling it to you the way it is. Chaim. Now we're discussing the three categories of the Jewish people can be categorized in, which is number one, righteous people. And we have all sworn to be righteous people. Before we were born, we swore that we would be righteous people. Who do we swear to? Angels. Before they brought us down into this world, they made us swear, like in court. You solemnly swear, yes, I do, 100% do, that you're going to be righteous. And then you have to swear again that you're not going to be bad, not going to be wicked. Say, I promise I won't. So that's the category of the righteous. Now, if that person in that category is a righteous person, do they ever say curses? They ever use bad language? No. Did they ever cheat? No. They ever steal? They ever hit anybody? You know, when Germany invaded France, the Rebbe and the Rebbitzin were there. They had fled to the south of France. They were about like the last ones out. 1941, they got out just in time. Rebbitzin's sister didn't get out on time. She was killed. And the German planes were flying and they were shooting bullets from the planes. And there was an elderly man and he didn't hear the warnings. He didn't hear, he was deaf. And everybody was getting down low, lying low on the ground so that they wouldn't get hit. These bullets were flying. And this old man didn't hear. And the Rebbitzin urged him to lie down. He didn't hear, so she pushed him that he should lie down. She saved his life. But all her days after that, she felt sorry that she had pushed a Jew, pushed an elderly Jew. Can you imagine? See, a righteous person is righteous, or she's righteous. They don't do anything that's not right. Because the word right is in the word righteous. They do the right thing. Would they have bacon and eggs for breakfast? A righteous person? No way. No way. Even if they're nice people, even if they're good people, then they're very helpful to other people. They have many good qualities. But the Torah says, we don't know why, the Torah says bacon is not for us. It's a no-no. We're not going to discuss reasons, possible reasons, so that's not the point. The point is that a righteous person doesn't do something that Hashem would not approve of. Like a child would not, if he's a good child, loves his parents and respects his parents, will not do something that his parents would not approve of. Won't do it. Even if his friends try and convince him that they should do it. He should do it. He won't do it. His parents won't approve. He's a goody-goody. Now, what if he did do something his parents wouldn't approve of? Is he righteous? Or is out of that category now? A little boy goes to school, and his mother didn't give him any candies. And his friend comes to school, and his friend has candies. And his friend goes out to the bathroom, and nobody's around to look, because all the kids, it was recess. You know what they call snack in Williamsburg, where they speak Yiddish? The snack that you take to school, they call it recess. Because that's what you eat during recess. Did you bring your recess today? A lot of funny expressions, the way Jewish people talk to each other. Did you bring your recess today? That means a snack. And so everybody goes out to wash their hands, and he's left alone in the class, and nobody's looking. He takes one of those candies. Is he a righteous child? No. Because the Yetzer Hara told him to do it, and he listened. You're not allowed to listen to the Yetzer Hara. But the Yetzer Hara is very clever, very cunning. He's going to say, but I'm your best friend. Nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to see just one candy missing. Look, he's got 7, 8 candies. He's not going to miss. He didn't count them. He's not going to know there's one missing. Go on. Take it. You can trust me. Girls, when someone says, trust me, run for your life. They are not to be trusted. But he said, trust me. Okay, so then there's another category of the people who are not righteous. They're two completely different categories. And in each category, there are thousands of levels, depending on how serious is the mitzvah, how important is the mitzvah, or how serious is the transgression. What is the quality of the mitzvah? Or what is the quality of the transgression? And frequency of doing a mitzvah. And what is the frequency that a person does a transgression? Like, for instance, a person doesn't know about Shabbos. Come to the Machon Leyadus, you learn about lighting a Shabbos candle, and you light your first Shabbos candle. It's mystical, it's wonderful. Next week, so happens you're busy, and you didn't get to the dorm on time. You didn't light a Shabbos candle, heaven forbid. So that's already, you did a very big mitzvah. Now you did not such a good deed, you missed. They told you now you have to light 2. Next week you light 2 candles. What happens if you get stuck in Manhattan? You're coming back from work and the train stalled. There was a problem with the train, and sometimes you sit in the train for half an hour and you left enough time to get back, but the train didn't make it. It's not your fault. And the time you got back was already after licht-benching time. So the moral of the story is leave plenty of time. Never, never, never leave things till the last minute. But now what? That's called, you did it again. That's called frequency. Let's say, take another example. Have some water, you drink the water, the coffee, and afterwards you get on with your day. Did you remember to say a blessing afterwards? Maybe you forgot. It's not the biggest transgression in the world, but it's a transgression, right? You're supposed to say, there's a Hasidic saying, you never take something into your mouth that you never enjoy anything in the world without saying thank you. Thank you to the person that gives it to you. Thank you to Hashem. You forgot. You ran to the next class. Uh-oh, that's not good. So next time you're going to try and remember better. This is an easy mitzvah. It's a hard mitzvah. It's a very hard mitzvah. People are always forgetting to do this mitzvah. Or they do it and then they forget that they did it. And they don't know, should they do it again? That's a big problem. To say a blessing when you don't need to say a blessing is also not a blessing. It's not a mitzvah. It's the opposite of a mitzvah. It's taking the second commandment. The first commandment is to believe in God. Second commandment, don't worship idols. Third commandment, don't take the name of God in vain. Don't use Hashem's name when you don't need to. That's saying a blessing on something you don't need to say a blessing on. Now I don't remember. Did I say a blessing on my water? I drank the water. Did I say a blessing? I went to it. I did not. Maybe yes, maybe no. I don't know what to do. So we can't say a blessing because we don't know. So what should you do? Take something else that you didn't eat yet and eat it, and don't eat it sitting down, and don't get up without saying a blessing. And then you'll have in mind that if you didn't say the blessing on the first thing, so now you're saying a blessing on that too. Okay, so this is the idea. How often is this going to happen? Is this going to happen like 5 times during the day? Or 7 times? It depends how much you eat. How many times you eat something. If you're a nibbler, you like to nibble all day long, this could be a big problem. Are you a nibbler? I'm a big nibbler. My wife says, do you want to have supper now? I said, no, I don't have supper now. She says, yeah, you never have, because you nibble. Orderly person eats his meals in an orderly way. The Torah wants us to be orderly. Now, frequency. Do you have a problem like several times a day you don't remember if you've said a blessing after you ate? Or maybe only once a day. Maybe once every few days. Maybe once a week. And you really work on it. I'm going to work on this. I'm really going to get the better of this. And you go a whole day, 2 days, 3 days, you don't miss. You're really being careful. A whole week, a whole month. You didn't miss a single time to say a blessing after you ate. Wow, that's work. That's why serving God is also called work. You got to apply yourself to it. What about you get a whole month, 2 months, 3 months, and then you forget to say a blessing on the food that you ate? Are you righteous? You went 3 months without missing one time. And now you missed. Are you still righteous? No. Righteous person doesn't miss. A righteous person doesn't miss, doesn't make a mistake. Gotta get this into our heads. Righteous people are not what the world thinks. Oh, yeah, they're very religious. They belong to the temple and they give charity to the JNF. They're really righteous people. Well, there's a lot more to it. To being righteous, a righteous person doesn't make a mistake. So we have these two categories, righteous and the opposite of righteous. And then we got the in-between, the Beinoni. That's what we're coming to discuss now. And we saw yesterday that a very, very righteous person like the Rebbe, he was righteous like the Rebbe himself. He was the most righteous person in the whole world. There was nobody more righteous than him. Do you know, when the Rebbe was in the hospital, when he was sick, when he had his second stroke, and he was in the Beth Israel hospital, and there was a nurse on the floor, and she went to church. And the priest in her church said, I turned to the congregation and said, we should all say a prayer for the rabbi of Lubavitch who's in the hospital here in the Beth Israel hospital. Because he is the most holy person in the whole world today. That nurse went over to the priest and she said, really? I always thought that the Pope was the holiest person in the world. And he said to her, no, the rabbi from Lubavitch is the holiest person in the world today. So here's a person like that. His name is Rabbi, like Rebbe. Rabbi, means great. He was great. He didn't live long. And he said, you know who the Beinoni is? It's suggested in the Talmud, the Beinoni is somebody who's half and half. Half really good, and sometimes not so good. So he's a Beinoni. He's not righteous all the time. He's not bad all the time. He's half and half. The Alter Rebbe wants to say, no, that's not a Beinoni at all. Because Rabbah says, yeah, like me, I'm a Beinoni. Well, his colleague, Abaya, said, oh, no, Rebbe, you cannot be a Beinoni, because if you're a Beinoni, then what's going to be Rebbe's and Simcha? What does that mean? If Rabbah is a Beinoni, then what? Then everybody else is wicked. Because there's nobody who is more holy than Rabbah. So that means there's no righteous person left in the whole world. What would happen if Noah, who built the ark, had not been a righteous person? The Torah says about Noah, he was the only righteous person in the world. Is there anybody in the world that doesn't come from Noah? No. So the whole world depends on him. He saved the whole world, saved all the animals, saved everybody. So if there's no righteous person, bye-bye world. It'll all just go back where it came from. Where was the world before Hashem created it? Where was it? I know, it was in the drawer with the socks. Where was it? Where was the world? Where was the whole creation? It wasn't. So we have to have a righteous person in the world, and Rabbah says, and Rabbah, he was the most righteous person in the world. And he said he's a Beinoni. So that's impossible. It's impossible, but it teaches us that a Beinoni is like on that level of righteousness that Rabbah was. So the Beinoni is very, very righteous. So this requires a lot of understanding. Now, there are certain transgressions that are very hard to avoid. Very, very hard to avoid. For instance, we have a mitzvah every day. You know, when we say Shema, hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. That's the mitzvah of declaring our belief in the one unity of God. And then it says, these words which I command you today should be upon your heart. We should meditate upon them. We should teach them diligently to our children, and we should speak about them all the time. Ooh, what does that mean? That means we have to learn Torah all the time. That's a mitzvah, to learn Torah all the time. Petra, have you ever done that? Learn Torah the whole time, not waste. Well, this Rabbah, it says about him, his mouth never stopped saying words of Torah. He was constantly learning, teaching Torah, constantly. And he says he's a Beinoni. And he wasn't joking around. He really meant it. So that means a Beinoni doesn't even miss a minute that he could be learning Torah. He fills every single minute. So the Beinoni is really, now the question is, what's the difference between a Beinoni and a righteous person? And a tzaddik. If Rabbah could be a Beinoni, now he wasn't a Beinoni, but he thought it was possible that he would be a Beinoni. Okay, and on that note, we're going to conclude this class. So this is the book of the Beinoni. This is going to teach us how we could be like a righteous person. It's not necessarily possible for everybody to be a righteous person, but deep down inside it is. How do I know deep down inside it is? Because our Torah tells us. What does the Torah tell us? There's a book, I've mentioned it already several times in this class. It's called The Teachings of the Fathers, The Ethics of the Fathers, Pirkei Avos. And it begins with a short paragraph that says, from the Talmud, that says, your people are all righteous. Ki amech kulam tzadikim. The Jewish people are all righteous. Every single Jewish person is righteous. But what happens if I forget to say a blessing after I eat? What happens if I don't fill every single second with learning Torah? So then you can't say I'm righteous. No, but you could be. You could be. And the Torah is promising us that in the end you will be. So even though it seems like to be righteous is like a huge mountain, but the Torah promises us that it may take us a long time to get there, but we're going to get there because it's in us. Why is it in us? You'll have to come back after Rosh Hashanah to find out. And now it's up to me to say a blessing after I eat. And it's always good to say a blessing in a bencher or in a siddur. And it helps because that way you don't get confused and say the wrong blessing. That's very important. Say a wrong blessing that's taking God's name in vain. And it helps because if you say the blessing inside, then you know you said it. And you don't get left in this quandary. Did I say it? Did I not say it? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei nefashos rabos v'chesreinan, al kel ma shebarasa la'achayis bahem, nefesh kol choy, baruch chei ha'olamim. Thank you, Hashem, for giving us life. Happy New Year. Good year. Bench a good year. All good things for everybody you care about. Thank you. Your uncle and aunt, grandpa and grandma, and all the Jewish people, all the non-Jewish people. They should also have a good year. Hashem should bless everyone. Non-Jewish people have commandments too. That's our connection to Hashem. That's their connection to Hashem as well. They also have a lot of commandments. A good convention to your hand. Bless you. Thank you.
How do you write like though? Like it's so cute. Is that THOUGH? But like slang, just say THO. Oh yeah.